Are you ready for the madness to start after this advertisement? Maybe. Okay, there we go. Oh, shut. Okay, there we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of Gigantic, the series. As you can see, we are actually outside, believe it or not. Now, today the high got up to 65 degrees, about give or take a few degrees, but actually, you should probably take a few degrees. But still, either way, it was warm. I think they said the warmest day of the year or something like that so far. Or warmest day since November, mid November, actually, as a matter of fact. So, what we've got for you tonight, we're going to head back inside down into the basement, or into the studio, is what I should say. We're going to reveal my March Madness bracket, then sort of preview what's coming up on the channel in terms of that, because we're going to do some live streams for that. And we'll have my live play by play and all of that stuff going on. So, we are now going to head downstairs. By the way, when I last checked the weather, 50 degrees out here still. I mean, it is. It has definitely cooled off from earlier, but it's almost like cold now. It's like cold, like obviously factoring in the wind chill and stuff like that. Obviously, it is a bit colder, but yeah, it just feels cold. I mean, but yeah, we're gonna head back downstairs into the basement, so you're gonna see the journey of that. So let's go. I would play the music, but I'm not going. Ooh, look, you get a close up of me. Maybe if I can fit this through here. Okay, here we go. Maybe if I can fit this down the stairs. Here, I'm just gonna leave this down here since I use this tripod for upstairs. Okay. Here we go. Home sweet home in the studio. Now, obviously, when we have like our summer kickoff and then the kind of like the end of summer show and stuff like that, we'll be outside a lot more. I mean, we'll still do segments down here in the basement, but they will be few, and there will probably be only, I don't know, maybe 2 per hour we're on air. I don't know. I'm planning on splitting up the award show in 2 parts because I want to. Well, of course, the award show won't happen until late December when we're probably going to be inside the whole thing. But yeah, about December 30th, we're going to have the award show. Now, I'm debating. Now, that may change depending on if the Muskies play or not. I mean, if they're away, then we'll still go on with the award show as planned. It will just take place after the game. But if they're home, then we might have to move it to a different day, or maybe even during the day we do the show. I don't know. I want to do it though at nighttime though, without a doubt. And for like the other or for like the summer kickoff and then like the summer finale, most of that's going to be outside. If not, the whole thing's going to be outside. Although that could be a problem as we get towards 9, 10 o'clock at night. So yeah, we might have to start outside and then maybe end out or come inside for maybe a little bit and then go back outside to sort of like finish it off. Like what I mean? I don't know, but we'll get that all figured out. When we get to it. I mean, we still got playoffs and well, we got March Madness coming up. Plus, we got the NBA playoffs and the NHL playoffs, the MLB season starting. We got a lot going on here, so we're gonna get that all out of the way first, and then we'll focus on summer fun and games too. And then, of course, the NBA finals and NHL finals, and even MLB streams for Sunday night baseball. So, yeah, all right, I'm getting way off topic here. But yes, tonight's the night. we're going to reveal my March Madness bracket. Okay. I'm going to try and get it if I can to like maybe. Okay, so here we go. With my March Madness bracket. Now, for those of you following along, I would highly suggest you pull up the bracket you go and look it up, and you pull up the bracket so that you can follow along, because there's not going to be graphics on screen, or I'm not using the dry erase board. What I thought about doing is that I thought about using 4 of these long dry erase boards for like each division, but then a couple of problems came up with that. One, I think I only have 3 that are about this shape. And then the other well, no, actually, we probably could fit the whole bracket, like one division on like one board. And then have like a big poster board, like right here in the middle with like, you know, the final 4 teams and then the winner and then stuff like that. All right, so here we go. Are we ready? If you haven't yet pulled up your bracket, or pull up, you know, well, rather, either your bracket that you've made yourself, or you can very easily go online and look at a picture of the bracket. I got this one on the official NCAA website, so yeah. All right, we're going to start off in the South. We'll get the underscore tone playing here. We're going to start off in the South. Well, now that we have now confirmed who's all playing and stuff. See, the thing I like to do with brackets is that I usually don't like to create them until after the first 4 games have played, because I feel that it's unfair to me to decide a matchup between one opponent and the other opponent that hasn't been decided yet. I just feel that that's unfair. Unless, you know, you do first 4 predictions and then do it like that, but I never usually do predictions for the first 4. I just, you know, after the first 4 teams, or after the first 4 games have played and they're officially added on to the bracket, that's when I start my bracket going. Yeah. So in fact, I just got done creating this probably 5 or 6 minutes before we got on air. So if I'm being honest with you, I mean, Arizona was blowing out, who were they playing? Nevada at the half. So I just made my bracket right then and there, because I don't think Nevada was going to come back from, you know, what was it, 25, 30 points down at the half. I mean, they could. It'd take a miracle, but yeah. All right, let's get into it. South Division, here we go. Number 1 seed Alabama against 16th seed Texas A&M Corpus Christi. I went with Alabama for that one. Now, in fact, they won 98-73, but we'll get more into that here in a minute. Woo! I'm almost running out of breath already. Too early for that. Ah! No, I'm just kidding, obviously. Alright, so next matchup is Maryland versus West Virginia. I chose Maryland. San Diego State at Charleston. I picked San Diego State for that one. 4th ranked Virginia and 13th ranked Furman. I went Virginia. By the way, there are upsets in these brackets, but the thing that always seems to happen every time I pick an upset, I always pick the wrong upset. Like, I don't know if that ever happens with you all. I mean, there was one year that I went with the team that was the highest ranked for every pick. And so, even though I did really, really bad at that, I still somehow won our pool. I guess everyone else just sucked that year. I think that was the year that Warford, or however you pronounce it, made the upset or whatever against Seton Hall back, what was it, the last one before COVID or the one before that? Something like that. 6th ranked Creighton is at 11th ranked North Carolina State. I'm going with North Carolina State here, people. 3rd ranked Baylor is at 14th ranked UCSB. I went with Baylor on that one. even though they're higher ranked in the bracket, USCB still or UCSB still has the better record there. So kind of a little bit of an upset here. Not gonna lie, but all right. Next one, Missouri at Utah State. I went with Utah State. Arizona is at Princeton. I'm going with Arizona for that one. All right. So now when we go to the second round, Alabama versus Maryland, I'm going with Alabama. San Diego State San Diego State and Virginia. I don't know why I'm saying at, but Virginia. So we'll get to the Sweet 16 matches here in a minute. North Carolina State at Baylor. I'm going with Baylor for that one. Utah versus Arizona. I'm going with Arizona on that one. So, Sweet 16, Alabama versus Virginia. I'm going with Virginia here with the upset, people. Baylor's at Arizona. I'm going with I keep saying that. I don't know why. But oh, and by the way, I will show you all my bracket, like in photo like this, just so that, you know, you get a better picture of it. I mean, if you want to wait until the end when I show it up and, like, take a screenshot of it so then you can go back and follow along, that's fine. You're free to do that. All right, we move on to the East as we also start the underscore again. All right, we start off in the East. Purdue will be at, I keep saying that. Purdue in 16th ranked Fairleigh Dickinson. I'm going with Purdue on that. Memphis at Florida Atlantic. I keep doing that. I'm going with Florida Atlantic. Duke and Oral Roberts. I'm going with Duke. Tennessee at Louisiana. Tennessee. Kentucky at Providence. I'm going with Providence. Kansas State's at Montana State. Going with Kansas State. I just realized now you're doing that. Again, Michigan State and USC. I'm going with USC. Marquette at Vermont. I'm going with Marquette. Number 2 ranked in their conference. So, yeah. Next round, second round, Purdue and Florida Atlantic. I'm going with Purdue. Duke and Tennessee. I'm going with Tennessee for that one. Providence and Kansas State. I'm going with Kansas State here. Okay, sorry. And then USC and Marquette. I'm going with USC on that one. A bit of an upset here. I think it's going to happen, people. Purdue and Tennessee as we head on to the Sweet 16. I'm going with Purdue. Kansas State and USC. I'm going with Kansas State. So, Purdue and Kansas State in the Elite Eight. Sorry if you're getting, like, motion sickness from me moving. Like, I swear, I cannot, like, stand still unless, you know, people are, like, touching my shoulders or stuff like that. But, yeah. Or unless I'm playing, like, hide and seek. But then I start, like, shaking a lot. Okay. I get off topic there. Purdue and Kansas State, I'm going with Purdue. All right, now we're going to move to the other side of the bracket. We'll start off with the Midwest. Houston and Northern Kentucky. I'm going with Houston. Iowa and Auburn, Iowa. Miami in Florida and Drake. I'm going with Drake here for the upset. Indiana and Kent State. I'm going with Indiana. Iowa State in Pittsburgh. Iowa State. Xavier and Kennesaw State. I'm going with Xavier. Texas A&M and Penn State. We'll have that game on for you all tomorrow night, actually. Penn State. I choose the win, or at least I think it's that game we're doing. I don't know. I'll pull up the schedule here in a minute. Penn State will win that game either way, whether we're broadcasting it or not. Texas and Colgate. I'm going with Texas. I did actually choose 1 year Colgate the last time, which was 2021. I did actually choose them to upset. I can't remember who they were. It was Mississippi State, I think they were playing, because there's this one kid in my grade who doesn't go to school with me anymore. Just for actually, in fact, he didn't even do the full year. I believe he was a Mississippi State fan. or something. It was like maroon colors. I remember that vividly, actually. So, yeah. So, I decided to go the opposite. And there's another example of me not choosing the right upset. So, yeah. And who knows? I choose Texas now, but Colgate can very easily upset them tomorrow night. I mean, who knows? That's why they call it March Madness, people. All right, next round. Houston and Iowa. I'm going with Houston. Drake in Indiana. Going with Indiana. Iowa State and Xavier. I'm going Iowa State for the upset. My friend Sam Grieve, if you're watching, hi, first of all. And two, you're probably going to be very happy of where I have Iowa State here in my bracket. So, yeah, I'm sure you probably have them going all the way. I don't think, you know, if you have a favorite college team and they're in March Madness, I don't know, do you just automatically choose them to win it or what? I mean, my mom chooses Duke, but usually Duke can be a pretty safe option, you know, to at least make it to the Final Four. So, yeah, I mean, now that Coach K isn't there anymore, I mean, is there really anything to get excited about? Whoops. We ran out of music. An ending advertisement. In fact, there's going to be no ads here tonight. Because after this is done, we're going to go back to the RVN News at night. And then, you know, yeah. So that's coming up next. Part 2. We had to, you know, interrupt it a little bit. It's okay. You'll still get your news, people. All right, Sweet 16, Houston and Indiana. I'm going with Houston. Then the Cinderella story will continue. Or wait, no, sorry. Okay, no. The Cinderella story will continue for Iowa State as they beat Xavier. Wow. And then Penn State and Texas. I'm going with Texas. I apologize. And then we have Houston and Indiana. Houston is moving on. Oh, wait, no, I just did that. Elite Eight! This is where Iowa State's storybook, Cinderella story, is going to end against Houston. So far we have Virginia, Purdue, Houston in the Final Four. Here we go. The Western Conference now. Kansas versus Howard. I'm going with Kansas. Arkansas versus Illinois. I'm going with Illinois. St. Mary's and VCU. I think VCU's going to get the upset. And I know for sure that is one of the games we're going to have for you tomorrow night. So, yeah. The last two TBS games that are being broadcasted tomorrow night, starting from about 6:30 Central Time, those will be the two games that we call, even though we probably will start the second half of the first game, or we'll try to get as much of the first game in as we can. We'll for sure probably get the second half, and then, of course, the next game. And then, yeah, we'll see how much of that first half we can get in tomorrow night for that first game, if any. All right. UConn and Iona. I'm going with UConn. TCU and Arizona State. I'm going with Arizona State here, people. I mean, they've shown how dominant they were, you know, really in that first round matchups. Or in the first four matchups, I should say. So, I'm not going to expect a complete, utter domination like tonight was, but I think they can win by at least probably 10 or 12 points. We'll have to see here. Gonzaga and Grand Canyon. I'm going with the Zags for this one. Northwestern and Boise State. I'm going with Boise State. UCLA versus UNC Asheville. UCLA, baby. Second round, Kansas and Illinois. I'm going with Kansas. VCU and UConn. I'm going with UConn. Arizona State and Gonzaga. I'm going with Gonzaga. Northwestern, that's the first round. Boise State and UCLA. I'm going with UCLA. Sweet 16, Kansas and UConn. Kansas, UConn, I'm going with Kansas. And then Gonzaga, UCLA, I'm going with Gonzaga. Elite Eight, Houston, Kansas versus Gonzaga. I'm going with the Zags. So, here are my final 4 teams if you've been paying attention at home. From the South, University of Virginia. From the East, Purdue. From the Midwest, Houston. And from the West, Gonzaga. So, those are my final 4 picks. So we'll start off with the first final 4. We have Virginia and then Purdue. I'm going with Purdue. Elite Eight, or excuse me, I'm going back a couple rounds, aren't I? Houston and Gonzaga. I'm going with Houston. So, for the National College Basketball Championship, Purdue versus Houston. The score is going to be 77-70. Final in overtime. That is my prediction. And Houston is going to win it all, baby. And we ran out of music again! Alright, so here is my bracket. As you can see, it kind of didn't print out very well, but at least, you know, my picks are written all in black and black ink and stuff, so, yeah. Alright, oh god, I gotta sit down now. Yeah, we're just gonna throw it on the floor for now. I love that theme song. One of the best in reality TV history. Big Brother UK coming back autumn 2023 on ITV2. You better be watching, because, you know, I'm gonna try to watch it if I can, like videos of it, like all the highlights on YouTube or whatever, because I'm sure ITV will probably upload them to there. But yeah, in fact, I'm kind of glad that ITV is getting the revival, or ITV2, I should say, not ITV, but ITV2. I mean, ITV, they have a long history with reality TV, and they've really gone all in on reality TV, especially, you know, in the 2000s when, you know, X Factor was popular, Britain's Got Talent was popular, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here was popular, even Pop Idol, which started, you know, the Idol phase, or started that franchise. That was huge when it first debuted, and, you know, Simon Cowell decided to cancel it after 2 seasons so that he could launch the X Factor. And even an underrated show, which, in my opinion, didn't get all the attention that it should have gotten, was Pop Stars. Pop Stars, more specifically, Pop Stars: The Rivals. I mean, like, that to me was probably better than the first Pop Stars. We've had 2 seasons of Pop Stars here in the U.S. I believe it was on. I want to say it was. I know for a fact it was either WB or UPN. I believe I'm more confident in WB than UPN, so we're gonna look that up here now. I know this is completely irrelevant, but, you know, you guys get me going here. So I mean, either way, the only really famous person we got from Pop Stars USA was Nicole Scherzinger. So, I mean, you can say what you want there. I mean, yeah, Pop Star. Yeah. That's who we got. And then, you know, the United Kingdom, they brought on, you know, the biggest girl group, you know, really, you could pretty much say after the Spice Girls, Girls Aloud, they're right next. They're, like, right below them in terms of best girl groups of all time in terms of UK. I mean, they're more well-known in the UK, but I'm sure there's probably, you know, more people like me in the US who know Girls Aloud because the lead singer Cheryl, she was a judge on the X Factor in the UK, and even for a tiny bit here in the States when that first debuted. I lost my earpiece now. It fell down my shirt, I think. Okay, here. Gotta hear the directors. Even though they're pretty much letting me ramble on here, but yeah, I mean, that's just, sometime we'll have a stream, where it lasts for 2 hours about nonstop talking that I do about, whatever I want to talk about. And, as you can see, I pretty much transfer from one subject to another, and then from that subject to another one, and then from that subject on. Now, as you can see, the whiteboard here, we have been filming Countdown. In fact, we filmed episodes 3 and 4 today. Tomorrow we're going to be filming episodes 5 and 6 of Wheel of Riches before we come down here and we film March Madness for the evening. So yeah, I'll pretty much film Wheel of Riches in the afternoon, then I'll have dinner, and then we'll be down here for that. And of course, so lunch, Wheel of Riches, dinner, March Madness. Booyah, that's my Thursday. And now this is because we actually don't have school Thursday or tomorrow or Friday. I don't know why. I still don't understand why. I guess they decided to quit, or they decided to cut Easter break short, because the last 2 years we've had a full week off for Easter and then the Monday after that. So yeah, I guess they just took away 3 days, but that we weren't supposed to have school, but we're still having 2 days off, and then I don't know if we're gonna have a third day off at some point. I don't know, but yeah, we'll have the off day or a half a day Thursday, and then we're off Friday, and then off that Monday. So yeah, so we only got 3 days of school this week, which is really, really exciting. So we're off tonight or tomorrow, and then tomorrow or Friday. Oh my God, I've been up for almost 2 minutes. I would be up for 16 hours. So I do sincerely apologize for that. So yeah. Right now we're gonna take a look at some scores. There's not a whole lot going on in sports, just the usual NHL. Even then, there's only 5 games on, and there's only maybe 8 games on in the NBA, and March Madness, the basketball, and then World Baseball Classic, and then XFL will kind of preview this weekend's action. All right, so shoot. Okay, here we go. Here we go. That sounded so weird. Alrighty, so here we go. We'll start off with NHL scores. No USHL action tonight, but yeah. So unfortunately, you won't get your scoop on that. But tomorrow night, we'll sort of preview the Muskies weekend. They're going to have a 3-game weekend here. Friday and Saturday in Tri-City, and then Sunday in Omaha. So, here we go. Minnesota leading the Blues right now, 6-4 at the end of the second. 5 goals in the second period for Minnesota. Absolute madness. Chaos. I mean, they've had 6 different goal scorers, pretty much. I mean, Joel Eriksson Ek with a goal. I mean, who else has a goal? Ryan Hartman, Oscar Sundqvist, John Klingberg, probably someone else I'm missing too. Yeah, so they're doing all right. But St. Louis, I mean, they're only down by 2. I mean, and each of their goal scorers scored 2 goals. Jakub Vrana and then Pavel Buchnevich. End of the second. Islanders lead the Ducks by a score of 3-2. In a shootout, the Avalanche beat the Maple Leafs by a score of 2-1. Capitals beating the Sabres tonight 5-4 in a shootout too as well. TJ Oshie and Alex Ovechkin, 1 goal and 1 assist. NBA scores, 3:36 left to go in the third quarter. The Clippers lead the Warriors 85-79. The 76ers lead the Cavaliers, they beat them, I should say, 118 to 109. Heat beat the Grizzlies 138 to 119. The Kings beat the Bulls 117 to 114. Rockets beat the Lakers 114 to 110, and then the Celtics beat the Timberwolves 104 to 102. And the Mavericks beat the Spurs in overtime 137 to 128. The final two games of the first four. Fairleigh Dickinson beat Texas Southern 84 to 61. Then Arizona State beat Nevada 98 to 73. The World Baseball Classic right now in Pool C in the bottom of the fifth inning. United States leads Colombia by a score of 3-2. The World Baseball Classic quarterfinal, Cuba beat Australia 4-3. In Pool D, Venezuela beat Israel 5-1. In Pool C, Mexico beat Canada 10-3. And then in Pool D, Puerto Rico beat Dominican Republic 5-2. XFL action going on this weekend. Tomorrow night, the Roughnecks will be at the Sea Dragons. I had hinted that we would probably broadcast this game. We are not going to. That is because Friday I'm planning on doing like afternoon games of March Madness, and we'll start that probably at about noon, 11:30 a.m. Or local time, and the game would probably end midnight local time. So I don't want to get no sleep. So I want to get some sleep, obviously. So yeah. That's why we're not going to broadcast that game. Defenders and the Battlehawks, Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Now, I was originally going to call this game, too, the Guardians at the Vipers at 10 p.m. Eastern, but that is not going to happen now. One, because they're both 0-4, and number two, March Madness will be interfering with that, too. And then Sunday night, the Renegades will be at the Brahmas. So yeah, that is all the action going on this weekend in sports. A little preview of tomorrow night. Now, if you check my community tab, that is the #1 place to get all the scheduling updates. So we'll be on tomorrow night, starting at about 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to try to make it on earlier, like way earlier if I can, and that will be... let me see who's playing. Colgate at Texas. We'll have that game. And then later that night, or later tomorrow night, after that's over, we'll have Penn State at Texas A&M. Now, I would have done the True TV games, but we unfortunately do not get True TV on our television. We get cable. We still get all the cable channels, MTV, TNT, Game Show Network. We get all the cable channels, but not True TV, so that is why. Otherwise, I would have 100% been broadcasting because, those are the two latest possible games. And then Friday, now that I've decided to go all afternoon, we'll start off VCU and St. Mary's. I've already promised that we would do that one. And then we'll have Iona at UConn. Then we'll have Fairleigh Dickinson in Purdue. That game. And then we're going to take a break for dinner. And then we'll come back with Kent State at Indiana at 9:55 p.m. Eastern Time. So, yeah, that is the schedule that you will be expecting here for the first round. We'll be going all afternoon Friday, and then the evening game of Kent State and Indiana. We'll take a dinner break, like I said, and then we'll continue on to the Kent State-Indiana game for St. Patrick's Day. And then the second round schedule, for now, it's just going to be the evening games. Whatever evening games are showing that night. But like I said, Sioux City is at Tri-City, so I might do like a little bit of play-by-play over that of the basketball games so that, we'd have two different things going on at the same time, obviously. And then Sunday, there is all Sunday afternoon games, like literally all of them, because CBS is broadcasting them back to back to back. The first one at like noon Eastern, and then the next one at like 12 or at like 2:30, and then the final one at 5. So yeah, that will be Sunday, and like I said, I'm gonna broadcast them back to back to back, and then we'll have the Muskies and Omaha game, and then that will do it for the stream. We're not gonna do any Sunday night. Now, next week, this is where things start to get, a little complicated, because then Thursday night, I actually thought the 23rd was opening day for MLB. It's actually the 30th, not the 23rd. And I even had that written down on a piece of paper too, but, obviously I still didn't clue in. So we'll have 2 evening games Thursday night. Friday night, we're not going to broadcast any games. And this is Sweet 16. Friday night, we're not going to broadcast anything. Instead, we're going to do like a recap along with the post-game show in Sioux City's in Lincoln. Saturday night, we won't be broadcasting any games because Lincoln is in Sioux City. Then the nice thing about the Elite 8 on Sunday is that both games are in the afternoon. So we'll have both of those games to complete the Elite 8, and then, of course, the Final Four starts on Saturday the 1st. But unfortunately, the Muskies do play that night at home against Fargo. So unfortunately, we won't be able to broadcast them live, but we will have the National Championship. Yes, Monday night, April 3rd. Coverage of that starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, with tip-off scheduled at about 9:20 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a fun next couple of months, because when that's over, we've got playoffs in the NBA and the NHL. It's going to be a fun one. So join us along for the ride over these next couple of months, because it all starts right now. We'll see you all tomorrow night for first round action of college basketball. Good night! Woo! Alright, I need a drink of water. Basically ran my voice nonstop. But it's worth it. We'll see you all tomorrow night at about 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Stay tuned for the continuation of the RVN News at night.